Hey, what's up, Benefers? I thought this might be an interesting week to discuss Batman and Daredevil. Let's see. We have the Batman Superman movie coming out. We have season 2 of Daredevil coming out. And hey, I have a book featuring two guys that were played by Ben Affleck. So let's have fun. This is from 1997. This is the Marvel DC Daredevil Batman. Not to be confused with Batman Daredevil. And it is written by D.G. Chichester and drawn by Scott McDaniel. And by the way, DC explains that they're in the same universe by just calling it an Elseworld, which is fine with me. You know, I don't need a huge explanation of how Daredevil jumped a whole universe to, I don't know, beat up bad guys with Batman. I don't care how it happened. It's just cool seeing them together. And let's see. Long story short, this is actually this is it. It's not a huge, gigantic epic. It's more or less like a two-part story arc that you'd see in any kind of comic. It's kind of like a fun little action romp of something you'd maybe see similar to what you'd see in Batman the Animated Series, frankly. And essentially, Batman investigates a brutal murder that took place at one of his laboratories. Someone broke in and stole some tech that actually links up computer chips with your brain and communicates and works on your brain, making a living brain tissue like a template and stuff, doing computer magic. And let's see, it was Two-Face. Two-Face and Mr. Hyde stole it. And what Two-Face has done is he is letting Hyde just use it while they're going on this brutal crime spree. Let's see. At the same time, they're in New York, by the way, so they have attract the attention of Daredevil, who's running around following them. Of course, that's when he bumps into Batman, and they decide to fight for some reason, as usual, until they decide to cool off. You know, it's amazing. One of the interesting things about this particular storyline is Chichester has a lot of fun having these characters kind of like nip at each other. Daredevil kind of like jokes on him a lot in this story, and Batman just kind of doesn't have. You'd think they'd get along a little bit better since they were like the same person at one point, but oh well. And let's see. They have different methods of investigating, of course. One of the cool things, actually, is... Yeah, there's a lot of time wasted of them fighting, but there's a couple of cool bits that happen during this. One page, Batman tells Daredevil he knows straight up that he's blind and uses some sort of extra sensory perception because he notices, like, the subtle... physical tics that he does in order to prick up his ears and head tilts, and he doesn't look at things like people look with their eyes. And there's a scene later where Batman just wants to take off and leave Daredevil behind, but he jumps in front of the Batmobile and plays chicken with him. And Batman blinks because Daredevil knows he will not run him over using his radar sense. Meanwhile, Two-Face and Mr. Hyde seemingly are getting along pretty well, but Two-Face is actually using Mr. Hyde to sort of cook up the nanotech in his brain, at sort of like pumping him up, getting really excited, and getting his brain really kind of just activating it. Why? I don't know. I guess he wants to sell it. And to be honest, this actually ends at a cyber cafe. Hey, remember those in the 90s? They were like all over the place. I'm not kidding. I don't think I've ever been to one, and I lived in the 90s. Anyway, I actually don't know why. I've read this like twice in the last couple of days, and I don't have a clear reason why they just crashed this place and start attacking. But Daredevil and Batman are able to figure out where they were because they're pretty much on their trail the entire time, which is the pacing of this is actually pretty exciting. It doesn't take place over the couple of days or anything like that. There's no huge scenes of going back and forth in their lives. It's kind of a chase story during the course of what looks like maybe a night or probably just one night. Let's see. And the story, actually, the only time this really does go through time is at the end in the epilogue, where Matt and Foggy go to a charity scene. Of course, you can't have a Batman story without a charity scene. This one saves it for the epilogue. And let's see, once again, Matt is ribbing Bruce Wayne right to his face. And even has this line of Batman tells him, Bruce Wayne tells him, don't come back to Gotham, Murdoch. And Matt says something along the lines of, why, Mr. Wayne, are you daring me? Yeah, you know, maybe we shouldn't be surprised that Daredevil's secret identity got blown so easily. He's pretty bad at it. And let's see. The artwork, by the way, I think is my favorite thing about this. Scott McDaniel's art is absolutely lovely, and the coloring on this. Who did the coloring? The colors are by Jeffrey Wright, and inks are by Derek Fisher. I think they understand Scott McDaniel's art and what looks good on his book is. They understand instinctively how to color his work, and some of his stuff is just absolutely beautiful. Let's see, like these two shots of Batman and Daredevil, respectively, during the final fight, I think just look terrific. McDaniel seems to like doing this kind of spiral design to a lot of his shots, and he does that. He did that a lot in Nightwing. He did that quite a bit in his run on Daredevil, especially when he started developing his style. And of course, he does that here. He does it a little less, but when he pulls it out, it's very effective. Like the shot of Batman attacking Daredevil, I think really looks cool. And an interesting thing is, I guess since Daredevil is the title character, he does have a little bit of a story arc going with Two-Face all of a sudden. It's revealed that they knew each other while they were in law school, and they actually had a debate about vigilantes and what their role is in society. And Harvey Dent won that debate. And it comes back to the end, frankly. With their final fight. Actually, not bad. One of my things about Chichester is I really enjoy the way he paces stories. He goes over really interesting ideas in his stories, although sometimes I feel like he starts with he starts with the theme first and then goes from there. I don't know why he over-narrates. He overwrites like crazy sometimes, and he does that here. Not as much as he has in the Daredevil title, but he will have like panels of Daredevil like using his hypersenses to read something, and the narration says he's doing that. Like I know I'm looking at the picture. You can stop doing that. Also nice McDaniel doing Frank Miller kind of stuff here. Of course, you have to do that. This is fun. This at the time was $6, which is now the price of an average comic, and it was a nice prestige format. I don't know if this is traded anywhere. I don't know if you can find this anywhere outside of this original printing. I'm sure if you have a comic book store in your area that has a pretty decent back issue kind of section, or just find it online. I'm sure you can find it. Probably not too much, but check it out. It's fun, and let's see, especially if you like Batman, Daredevil, or Scott McDaniel's art, I think is really probably the biggest selling point of this one. I'm going to give this 4 Ram chips out of 5, and I think we'll be talking about Daredevil more. I have a couple of Daredevil stories I want to talk to you about in the future. We'll be seeing those sooner or later. Until next time, though, push the button, Lindsay.